Paul's teaching on marriage, 1 Corinthians 7, a really, really great place to go if you have questions for these things. I want to take you specifically. I'm trying to find the exact passage where it's at. Here it is. Okay, so Paul is giving some instructions here to the unmarried in this specific part right here, to the unmarried. He says, but to the unmarried and to the widows, that it is good for them to remain even as I. What he's talking about is being single. Paul was advocating, and he made clear, he's like, this comes from, me. This is not from the Lord. It's better to remain single for Christ's sake. So that way, your attention is not divided. You could devote yourself to Christ. And he says, but I say to the unmarried and to the widows, that is good for them to remain even as I. In other words, not married. But if they do not have self-control, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion. And what he's saying is, when you have institutions like the Catholic Church that don't allow their version of pastors, their priests to marry, their nuns to marry, that's not natural for a lot of people. There are some people who are supernaturally gifted with self-control when it comes to sexual temptation, things of that nature, that can control that, and they have no desires for that whatsoever. That's great for them, but not everybody is made like that. Paul is saying here, if you don't have self-control, get married. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. And obviously, that's not the sole reason you get married. You don't get married just because of the lust inside your heart. But he's saying it is better to be married than to sit there and burn with passion and have all these desires, and you're trying to suppress and suppress and suppress. And next thing you know, that sin is just going to explode outward. And going back to that news article with, when it comes to the Catholic tradition of, I don't know why they believe that all priests, can't get married and nuns can't get married and things of that nature. They're causing people to burn with passion in those instances because they're trying to, and this goes back to the whole works-based salvation thing when it comes to the Catholicism, believing that you play some role in regards to your salvation when the role is 100% on Jesus Christ, keeping you in the faith. God gave marriage for a reason. There's nothing in the Bible that talks about how those who are, preachers of the word or anything like that should not be married. And like I said, it's causing people to burn with passion, and it's going to eventually bubble up and go out in a very, very bad, wrong way. That's why Paul gave such clear instructions here in the Bible. Clear instructions.